Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the business news on Midday Live here on TV3. My name is Alfredo Conceit. Our first story this afternoon. Residents of Kusogu in the central Gonja district of the northern region are scared of an acute water shortage. The only dam serving them is fast drying up. Eva Tiboka has details.
Since the 1970s, this has been the only source of water serving over 40 communities in Kusagu in the central Gonja district of the northern region. In fact, the overgrowing population still rely on this dam. But as you can see, the dam is almost dried up.
Residents stay awake in search of the commodity. Finding clean water is a Herculean task. This is the water served us on arrival. Potable sources are simply not available, and residents rely greatly on dams. But that comes with a struggle.
Cows and these donkeys and everything, they have been there. The women cannot, they can't fetch the water for us to go and drink because of the shitting inside the water. And now we are taking everything, no water. We don't have any good water to drink.
To avoid infections, many add chemicals, but the worry is the quantity added to make the water potable. For fear of adding more than needed, some prefer to take the water without the chemicals. Already, residents are complaining of some ailments which they link to the quality of water.
For this year, we're already suffering. Subsequent years. So for me, the only thing appeal I can make is that for them to come and construct this thing and dredge this one, so that subsequently when it rains, the water can be there to take the people throughout the year.
Out of the 3 dams serving them, 2 are already dried up. The only one left will dry up soon if the rains fail to come early.
This time, I think the whole village will be short of water here, and the villages around us is more than 15. All of them depend on this dam, and then we have no way to pass until we get river water from Yapi.
In case it dries up, residents will have to travel to Yapi, about 16 kilometers away from Kusogu, to get water. Residents drove to the dam site on hearing of the news team's arrival, thinking we had the solution to their problem. Over the years, the district assembly had made efforts to resolve the problem, but a low water table has been a challenge.
Let's stay with that particular area because the Boko Municipal Assembly says market sheds that were left to rot will no longer be rehabilitated but will be reallocated to traders who want them. About 200 sheds were allocated to traders but left unused for several years. Eva Tiboka has more.
The Boku market is the largest in the Upper East region. Animals, food crops and many others is in abundance for sale. We observed the market from afar as animals compete with traders for space.
Bring you details of that particular story subsequently in our bulletin. Stay with us here. But to some of the stories, Deputy Minister of Communications Ato Sapon has tasked telecom operators to extend their signals to rural communities. He was speaking at the first African conference on the International Telecommunications Society here in Accra. Welcome back from that quick break. Let's go to our earlier story where Deputy Minister of Communications Ato Sapon has tasked telecom operators to extend their signals to rural communities. He was speaking at the first African conference of the International Telecommunications Society here in Accra.
Information and communication technology represents an enormous opportunity to introduce significant and lasting positive change across the developing world. The rapid penetration of mobile access in particular has resulted in considerable improvement in the lives of the poor in both rural and urban areas. Evidence suggests that this trend is going to continue as availability expands and the cost of access continues to decline. According to the Deputy Minister of Communications, Ato Sapon, government has invested adequately in ICT infrastructure to support the expansion of the internet and high-level connectivity for rapid deployment of applications and services. He said without adequate ICT infrastructure to move information rapidly, Ghana's development development will be further marginalized.
The expectation is that over the next 3 years or so, we should be getting 150 million people connected to broadband. That's a challenge. It is also anticipated that African mobile broadband connections will reach 160 million in the next 2 years. Opportunities abound, and we say that it is only the brave who dare venture into this arena will be the beneficiaries of the booming industry.
The president of the Ghana Technology University College, Dr. Osek Dakwa, called for commitment on the part of policymakers to aggressively address the technological imbalance in the country.
This calls for a commitment on the part of political leaders to address the technological imbalance. Without an aggressive intervention of this nature, very little progress will be made in our quest towards the technological promised land. And history will judge us harshly if we fail to move.
Well, that's it for business this afternoon. My name is Alfred.